Yeah. You know what it is, boy, heavy. I'm chilling with the motivation Monday family right now. Crew, we about to get into it. We got some topics for y'all today. We're gonna have Kimber read the first topic real soon. Shout out to everybody listening and tuning in. You know, Heavy's World Radio Motivation Monday. Let's go. Pow! Oh, shout out to my sponsor, Crooks, too. Crooks Clothing, Red Brick Studio, OG Castle, Sandro Castle. Salute.
There we go. All right. So, first topic of today is going to be as you reflect in the last 10 to 20 years, who's more patient, your older or younger self? How well can you handle someone annoying you on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all, and 10 being very well?
Dr. Howard.
Peace, y'all. Shout out to Crooks. Thanks for the sponsorship, fam. You know what it is. But yeah, this is Dr. Howard. My response to this question is my younger self more patient or my older self more patient with somebody being aggravating, which is perfect to the situation I'm dealing with right now when you got a fucking mother who just wants to be all like making crazy noise when you're trying to handle business. And then it's like you be so patient with it till it's like, okay, I'm doing things that's on camera and microphone. Like I shouldn't have any interruptions. Then it just breaks when it's like, okay, at what point do you not like tell your own mother, like, can you cut the fucking noise? You know what I'm saying? While you're trying to handle business. You
Okay.
understand? Like, so that's the shit right there. Then when they keep running their mouth as if they have something to offer but nothing to give, like that's when it's like, all right, as an adult, now I'm gonna shut up because I'm gonna let you ran off and realize how much of your bullshit is really irrelevant. All right, so I think my patience on a scale of 1 to 10, depending on the situation and the person. Like some people really make you more passionate about, you know what I mean, your responses, and it's like other people really don't matter. But when it comes to people that your loved ones, that tends to make things a little harder to try to bottle up, keep bottled in, because it should already be like a medium of respect that should be flowing as loved ones. But for some reason, loved ones always want to go extra beyond, above and beyond, to be aggravated. And it's like, yo, what gives? Because if I say something even disrespectful or do something, now it's gonna look like I'm the bad guy. Well, you provoke the shit because you're a family member. That means you're invalid. You're non-void, or you're exempt from. You know what I mean? The discipline factor of things. Like we're all adults supposedly. Do you forgot? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's where I'm sitting with it, and that's just happened to be the one of the greatest things to be questioned today because it's just happening, and it's like, all right, I know myself, I know more of myself, and I know why it should be happening. You know what I mean? So thanks for this question, y'all. Dr. Howard, over and out.
I'll go next.
Mhm.
So I think I'm pretty I think I'm more patient when I was younger compared to older. I think as a young individual, you just let stuff slide. You just, like you just dealt with it, whatever, would happen. Like I know that Dr. Howard just, made an example, give us an example in regards to, his relationship with his parents. And I would have to say, as a younger kid, I think that during those times you just dealt with it. So you just were patient with them. It doesn't matter, like it was not even being patient, you just had to listen to them. But in a way you were still patient because if you were a good kid, like you just dealt with it. But as I gotten older, I realized there's certain things I don't deal with. Like I just don't deal with disrespect. I don't deal with, you know, even like the most like simplest things. Like for instance, you know how like let's say someone is moving and last minute they're asking you to like help them move. I'm like, I just don't have the patience. Like you had the time to like I don't have the patience to deal with like I don't know if it's immaturity or lack of decision making, but I just don't have time for that. As I gotten older, I think I'm just more um I
Impatient.
know more what I want and what I'm willing to deal with, and so therefore I think I'm just less patient to dealing with bullshit.
I'll go next. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Pierre, on that. I think I was more patient when I was younger. Um, Being older now, I definitely know that I'm not as patient. I just learned to kind of know where to get in and where to get out and how to manage my lack of patience. Like Pierre said, there's and even Dr. Howard touched on it too, there's certain people who are gonna test your patience a little bit more than others.
Mhm.
And when Dr. Howard was talking about family, there's certain people who they kind of know how to push your buttons more than others. So I think that's for me where my patience gets tested the most is really for people I care about. And so getting older, it's like, investing emotionally into people, it's like it takes a lot. So you start to really consider stuff like, do you want to? So, I'm kind of like a loner in a way. I don't know if it's the Aquarius in me, but it's more like I try to deal accordingly. And if it's a situation where I see my patience is being tested, I'm gonna remove myself from that situation because you know yourself. So I'd say yeah, I'm less patient now than I was when I was younger, but I definitely have known how to manage it better.
I like that response too because it's people think it's a simple question and you kind of gotta think about it and analyze yourself. So it's crazy. I like your answer, Diggs. I like everybody's answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say that I have more patience now than I did when I was younger. When I was younger, I was like a young crash out. I really didn't care. I didn't give a fuck. I was fighting in the club. I was fighting bitches. I was fighting niggas. Like I was just doing the most when I was young. I was a young, wild cat. I was outside. I was having my way. I wasn't really taking no guidance from anybody. Like I was really wild and I didn't have the patience. I was quick to cuss somebody out. If you even looked at me the wrong way, I would cuss you out. Like I was the definition of like somebody like a ghetto girl, like one of them ghetto girls that you did not want to be around because it's just not allowed in ghetto and ratchet. And I changed my ways and I retired from being a young crash out and started working on my career and stuff like that. And now I have a lot of patience. And that really helped me because being being young and having those times where I was crashing out and stuff like that is because now that I'm older, I realize what's happening. Like I realize that people are trying to push my buttons and people are trying to get me to that point and stuff like that. Like I done been to jail and everything like that. So like yeah, I know when somebody's trying to test my patience. So as an adult, what I do now is just try my best to avoid those situations when I feel myself getting into those types of situations. Like I'll walk away or something like that. I'm better at resisting conflict and resolving issues now as an adult than when I was younger. Like when I was younger, I would have never even had the patience to side with you, to put myself in your shoes, to hear your side of the story, anything. I would have let you talk, but it would have went in one ear and out the other. Now, as an adult, I actually side with people. I listen to them. I listen to their point of view. I understand where they're coming from. I connect with them, and then that actually helps me come with a better outcome. Nope, I'm just about wrapped it all up. That's all I had to say. Yeah.
Okay. I still would like to hear from the ladies, meaning from Suzette and Kimber, if y'all don't mind. So it says, as you reflect in the last 10 to 20 years, who's more patient, your older or younger self? And also, how well can you handle someone annoying you on a scale 1 to 10? Note, 1 being not at all and 10 being very well.
I
Suzette?
mean, just to touch,
Oh,
just
so
to
you want
touch
me to
on.
answer?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we would love to hear from you.
Oh, um, I mean, with the patient, it's all about the situation. But I felt like I'm a little patient. I don't know. And for like you said, what was the question? The past 10, 20 years, do
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
like
like
we were
I'm
saying,
more patient?
are you more patient with your older self or younger self, which was probably 10 to 20 years ago? Do you feel like
Mm.
you're more patient now or back
I
then?
mean, like, I felt like I was more tolerant, not patient.
Hmm.
So does that mean like like my patient me tolerating people? Because I feel like when I was young, I used to tolerate a lot of things, so I didn't have boundaries. Unlike certain things, even if I didn't like it, I will I will stop talking to the person. But before I do that, I would like just make sure I'm like right. So I felt like me being older, I mean, I just felt like I don't have patience for a lot of things now. Is
I
that
hear
weird?
you. I hear
I
you.
feel
I hear
like
you.
I'm patient, but like I'm not gonna deal with. I don't want to argue with you. I'm not gonna waste time on argument. I never liked doing that, but yeah, I just don't have time to argue and say rude and disrespectful things to people that you can possibly want to reconnect with. I just don't see why. So I guess I'm more. I think my younger self was more patient and you know.
Okay, okay, I hear you on that. Um, we got some good. We may have mixtures of answers, or but
Oh
some
yeah,
people.
and now that I'm older, I set my boundaries. I know that I have um certain value or certain things that I wouldn't jeopardize and doing certain things and
I hear that. I definitely hear that. And
Now I have a question.
hold on. Let's get Kimber first, and then we could go ask the questions. Is that cool?
Okay.
Just so we can get everybody out of the way. Kimber?
I would say that I'm definitely more patient now than I was when I was younger. Because when I was younger, I just wanted shit to be done and over with whatever the situation was. Like, I was always very impatient and impulsive. Those are two of the negative traits as an Aries. So knowing that, I always forced myself to take a step back in a lot of situations, ask why, look at the point of view, and taking that in, I grew with that. And in any situation I'm in now, I still do that to this day. And I just feel like it just made me more patient now. Like, even nowadays, like, if I'm driving and there's a slow car in front of me, I'm like, oh, this is a sign. This is a sign. I gotta slow down. Or if I'm standing in line and like something happens with the cashier and the person checking out, whatever, I'm like, there's a sign. So I'm like, this is like a sign for me to like, hold on, Kim. Like, just wait. And so anytime that like any situations like that happen, I'm like, you know what? I'll just wait. Because a lot of the times before, I would be like, "Oh, this is annoying," and go to like another line or go to another lane or whatever, and then it just fucks me over. More traffic, or I get backed up, or whatever the situation. Like, it always ends up backfiring when I'm impulsive and I'm impatient and I'm quick to say no. So I just learned to like take a step back, ask why, what would I do if I was in that situation? A lot of times doing that gives you the time to figure out if it's something you want to do or you don't want to do. And then I've always been easy to tolerate people that are annoying, always, because like I told you guys a couple weeks ago with the baby mom drama, and she came in drunk as hell, belligerent, yelling at me, and I ignored her like she looked stupid. Like, everybody was like, who is she even yelling at? Even my manager was like, Kim, how are you taking this right now? I was like, girl, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, let her look stupid. Bye. See you later. I never, ever feed into any bullshit like that ever. Because it's like, I'm not going to waste my energy trying to like fight that. For what? For what? Stupid. So I always been patient. I always been tolerant of annoying people. I'm just like, whatever. I don't care. And I'll just leave, walk the other way. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I feel like. Oh, well, more. I'll let you go because you want to say something. I'll respond after.
Oh no, I just wanted to talk about the talk, get some question or some insight from the people that said they were a lot patient when they were younger than they are now because they have set certain boundaries, and the certain boundaries that they set just doesn't allow them to deal with certain people's energies, because it's a test of their patience. So I just wanted to know, how did you manage to get your boundaries intertwined with your patience? Because I feel like they're separate. Like having patience and having boundaries are two separate things. Like I can have patience and still have and still have certain boundaries, or vice versa. I can have certain boundaries and still have no patience. So I was just wanted to know that. I want to know because for an example, my boundaries is like for an example, I don't really like to deal with men that have children because I would initially like my first to be that person's first. However, I'm older now, so I have a little bit more patience. I may talk to a guy that has two or three children because I understand that, I'm being patient with him. I understand that he's still a good guy. Like at the end of the day, whatever happened in his relationships with his baby mama happened in his past. You know what I mean? I'm patient. I'm
Okay.
being patient enough with this man to try to develop some sort of type of understanding of what we could possibly be, but my boundaries are still set. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to let you disrespect me. I'm not going to let you cross that line. I'm just being more patient with the fact that you have children. So I'll deal with the fact that you have children rather than going for a man that has no children at all. And at this age, 32 years old, is very likely that I'm not gonna, it's very, very, it's not common to come across a man that doesn't have children. Let me say it like that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Um, I'll let one of the other females, if they want to talk to you about that. I do have my own views and stuff, but I'm gonna wait to speak to do the wrap up on this topic. So I'll let y'all go. And Kimba, do you have
Well,
any advice for me?
Kimber agreed with me.
No, we're
Kim,
patient now. She's asking I think she's asking like the people who are patient younger versus now, and how does that relate to their boundaries?
Well, I'll go ahead and answer that one. I think with me, so when I read the question, I looked at it more from the perspective of, when it's being asked, it's like, do you have more patience now as opposed to your younger self? I immediately thought of when you're triggered.
Mhm.
That was my first go-to. So from that standpoint of being triggered, um, because I know myself now, like I know myself. So I know if I'm triggered and I'm pushed to a certain point, like I know how I can get. Like that's not gonna go anywhere. So for me, it's not a matter of like
No.
if, it's like when. So that's the part that had to change. Like I don't want to get to that point. So that's where the boundaries come in. If I see somebody is now testing me to that point, I've set up boundaries where I'm just going to remove myself before it gets to a 10, because I don't want to get to a 10 now, hurt the person. Now I'm in jail. Now we're fighting, or now I'm, like, why do we have to get there? but that's the reality of it. So I set boundaries, um, so that I can avoid being triggered to that level, you know. So that's why I said I feel like I was more patient then, because I understand myself now. I know it's like if I'm gonna go to that point, for me now, it's there has to be a purpose. It's like that saying, you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. There are going to be certain times where you do have to maybe get into a fight, maybe kick somebody's ass to prove a point. There's probably going to be times like that. That's pretty much a must in life. But does it have to be once, twice a week? No. It's not every day that you got to be fighting. So for me, setting the boundaries was very important. It just allows people to understand what morals and how they should respect you and how they should handle you. If not, they lose you. So that's the whole point of boundaries. So that's why I said that. That's why I answered it the way I did, me personally. I don't know if that answers your question more.
Yeah, it answers my question. Thank you.
Okay, I'm glad that I feel like we could all help each other, and that's why I like doing Motivation Monday because it helps. I feel like it's always going to help someone. Every single subject, every topic, question, every time when someone's speaking, you get even when you're speaking. Sometimes before you speak, you get to reflect on yourself. You might have not been thinking about what's been going on. I could tell you just Mora and everybody else. Sometimes I struggle to know, you know, who's more patient or whatever with myself when I was younger or older. I would say Mora when I was younger, I'd be a little more rowdy, you know, maybe a less patient. But I've always been a patient person. But I feel like I'm probably more patient now, only because I know myself even better now. So I feel like
Mhm.
now when we're older, we know our boundaries more better than we did when we was younger. I would say majority of us. You feel me? Like I don't even think that we're not impatient. Like my fault. I don't feel like as we're older, like people say, you get more impatient. I just feel like we actually know ourselves better. So we know to set our boundaries and we know how much we were allowed to happen before it triggers us. You feel me? So when we feel like we know that the triggering is about to come, we'll just stop whatever it is or cut it off, whatever, like Dick said, you know? So I do feel like I just learned something new in like probably like the last week. I've been seeing that shit online. They was talking about emotional intelligence
Mhm.
and feelings, you know? Emotional intelligence is kind of what I just said, where you know yourself better emotionally. So you know what triggers you, you know what will get you mad, you know how you will react if this goes on for X amount of time or whatever. So you being you boosting up your emotional intelligence, which is us being older, knowing about ourselves better, we know how to avoid getting into getting into the feelings with certain things. It's only natural, you know. Some people are more emotional or will get in the feelings, but you will know yourself better. So instead of you spazzing out on someone like when you was younger, because you have more emotional intelligence, you don't allow that happen. Just meaning you got emotional intelligence as you know yourself and the discipline is there more better. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. So, you know what I'm
And I
saying?
have to
People get
agree with that.
yeah. And so if there's anything, let me put my video on right now. If there's anything that people could take from this topic, um, I would say just continue to know yourself better, learn and grow. Um, really focus on your emotional intelligence more than your feelings when it's pertaining to situations, and it will help you out because you feel happier about yourself that this person tried to trigger you and it didn't work because your emotional intelligence itself is is way better. But sometimes it also happens like with the whole astrology thing and all that. once you know that other person's characters or traits, you already know what to expect from them. Just like Dig said, or someone said that right earlier, Pierre or someone. Like once you really got to take that in mind, that know that other person has their own issues and their emotional intelligence might not be at the same level as yours. They could be rude and ignorant, but just know that. You feel me? And once you understand that, I feel like you'll be in a better state of mind. And I only say this to say that I don't want to talk too long, but I'm gonna tell y'all this because this is personal. So me myself, heavy, I got type 2 diabetes, right? I had diabetes. I'm almost in the process of reversing my shit. Probably in like a few months. My shit will be reversed, right? For my emotional intelligence, which I didn't know at the time, was lower. I didn't know myself like that. So I could even eat healthier, work out, whatever I'm doing. But like you could eat healthy food and work out and shit like that. But if your emotional intelligence is low and you're letting people stress you out, stress could be the death of you. Stress will fuck up your blood levels.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But
To
that's
have you
also
have diabetes.
discipline, right, Heavy? That's
Yeah,
also discipline
yeah,
too.
it's
Not
discipline.
just emotion. It's not just an emotional thing. It's also
Yep.
discipline.
No, it is. You're right. You're right. So I think with the discipline, the emotional intelligence, and the boundaries, if you get that shit down pat, sky's the limit. Like nobody can fuck with you. Like even if they wanted to, unless you're like smoking, drinking, and you're doing lower level shit and lower level environments, then maybe that shit could trigger you. But once you are aware of that, your discipline, emotional intelligence, and you set your boundaries, nobody can fuck with you. It doesn't matter if it's your parent, your sibling, your aunt, your friends, whatever. And one thing I learned is a new strategy I've been using is express the way I feel. Because me being a Sagittarius, I'm very emotionalist. You feel me? So I don't really like talk about how I'm feeling or show that a lot. So what I started doing is like breaking it down to the person, like, yo, I'm just letting you know I got type 2 diabetes. I'm trying to work on my health situation. One thing I'm not doing is going to stress over nobody or no one or no situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm even turning down money, nigga. I got to put my health first type shit. So you know this already. I told you before, and this will be the last time I tell you, not stress me out. If you stress me out, I don't give a fuck who you are. I'm cutting you off. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that knows me, that knows the situation of my health condition, nigga, like you're really being ignorant to the fact that you're trying to stress me out, which could fuck with my blood levels, and I got type 2 diabetes. You know what I'm saying? So now, once I tell someone once or twice and they continue to do it, I just cut them off. Nigga, like, fuck you. Because now you're showing me you don't give a fuck if I die or whatever, you know what I'm saying? My blood sugar spikes or whatever, blood pressure, you know what I'm saying? So I just use that as an example. I'm not gonna talk no more, but I hope that helped all y'all out with dealing with your own situations, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm about to reverse my diabetes this year, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely up.
Good shit. Good shit. Good shit.
And then Kimball, we got the what's the next topic? What subject?
The next topic we got, what about dating in 2025? Why are people scared of committing and ghosting is on an all-time high? What are your opinions about these? Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I need to know because apparently I always end up finding Casper the friendly ghost.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it has everything to do with today's society and the lack of communication that we have. We had COVID. It took us 2 years where we didn't have to communicate with each other. We couldn't touch back in the day. Everything
Mara, you're breaking
online,
up.
everything all.
Yeah, more you're
Hey, Mara,
breaking up.
you're breaking up, Mara.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Sound better right now, I
Yeah.
believe.
Okay. I was saying, I think it has everything to do with the fact that we had COVID, social distancing, the lack of communication. in today's age. We couldn't even smile at each other, let alone notice that someone was making a smirk underneath their mask. That
You're going out.
people
You're going out again. You're going out again. Damn, she was on a roll.
Yeah, she was on the road. She was going in.
Yeah.
Too bad we couldn't hear her though.
Well, while we're waiting for her, I'll just say a few things. For like probably like the past 10 years. So like I just think people should just because of technology, it's easier to just ghost people. Instead of and then just kind of going back to our last topic, people just have less patience in dealing with like people. Like and people are vain. It's like one little red flag. It could be like they have a chipped tooth. Like they can fix that. Something simple. People are ready to people are ready to just
Cut
be
it
like,
off.
okay, dismiss them, cut them off.
Yep.
So that's an issue. Now don't get me wrong, like if you got a whole tooth, I don't know. But if you but that's a different situation. But a miss like a chip, you know what I mean? So I think, we need to be more like mindful, be more empathetic, um, for the dating scene to be better. I think that and another thing is it feels like it's a transaction. Like even just it's just like what can you offer me and what can I offer you? That's what just feels like no one is dating just for to be in love with someone. Yes, I understand in a relationship you need more than love for it to work. However, what happened to like I want to get to know you because I just like you? Why is it like, oh, you got a job, you got a car. How many kids you got? You got this, you got that. It's just like it sounds like a numbers game, and it's gone to a point where it's just
Like you're at an
people are
interview and
tired.
you're going over the
It-
resume.
yes, exactly. You're in an interview and people are tired of answering the same questions. So
Yep.
after a while, like you just want to take a break and not go through that situation. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I'm back. I hope you guys can hear
You
me.
sound way better now, girl.
Thank you. And it kicked me out. So it was
Yeah.
definitely my connection.
Yeah.
So just going off of what Pierre said, not only in trying to continue what I was saying, not only is ghosting like a thing now, I feel like it's more accepted. Because ghosting has always been a thing. Even back during AIM, you could turn your AIM into ghost mode. You could turn your social medias into ghost mode. So ghosting has always been a thing. It's just I feel like it's accepted now. And the reason why it's just so accepted is because we don't care. Kind of like Pierre said, going back to the other topic where people are running out of patience. We don't have patience for the bullshit anymore. People don't want to deal with that anymore. We had to go through a whole pandemic where we had to isolate ourselves for 2 years. You think I care about you ghosting me? I just don't care anymore. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't think it's more or less the fact that, oh, ghosting is so easy to do now that it's 2025. Ghosting has always been easy to do. What it is it's just accepted more. And in other words, it's accepted to a fact where people don't even care that you're ghosting me. It's like you ghosted me. Oh, I didn't even notice.
It's part of the norm now.
Yeah. It's part of dating culture.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like it's just part of the culture now. It's so normal. It has everything to do with Gen Z not going outside and interacting. It has everything to do with the lack of communication. It has everything to do with the pandemic. It has everything to do with post-pandemic. It has everything to do with what's going on right now with Trump now being in office. It has everything to do with all of that, and it's just ghosting is now more commonly accepted. It's just part of it. It just is what it is. If you ghost me, it's kind of just like, oh, okay, whatever. I mean, look, Snapchat. Snapchat's a ghost emoji.
Hey, Mora, let me get Diggs on because he raised his hand. Waiting for
All right.
it. Yep.
Um, No, what she's saying is so true. I was gonna add to what you were saying, or I was gonna segue by saying it's so much a norm now, ghosting, that they made a whole, like, the terminology, the cancel culture is pretty much ghosting. Like that whole cancel culture thing where, overnight you're just done. Like you say the wrong thing at an interview, canceled. You're at a press conference, so that's kind of where we are as a society. That's my take on it. And I use the term, I use, how people talk about, for me, my personal experience, just as a man dating, I always use the terminology to put it into reference so people understand it better. They use the term eye candy. I just feel like with me, there's so many, I'm a heterosexual man, so I date women. I just feel like there's so many women that are more concerned with being eye candy than soul food. Like they're more concerned with, you know, and that's my fear of dating in today's society, because it's kind of like it's exactly what Pierre was saying earlier, as far as it's, you almost feel like a number. It's like, are you getting to know me for me, or are you more concerned with, what car I drive? Where do I rest my head? What's my job title? How much money do I make? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I prefer soul food over eye candy. Eye candy is nice. Don't get me wrong, but soul food is filling. You know what I'm saying? It's what's good for you. It's what's right for you. So that's my take on it.
So
That's my issue with dating.
is soul food like the substance? Like they have
Right.
substance
The
and
person.
You have to have
Personality.
substance, right? Like eye candy is like, your Skittles, your M&Ms. You taste good, like you think you're getting full. You're not gonna get full. How many M&Ms does it take to get full? You know what I'm saying? It tastes good, but what else tastes good? You could find good food that tastes good. You know what I'm saying? Get some steak with some mashed potatoes, with some string beans, some corn. Tastes good and it's filling. Like, so I'm a when in that's how I kind of put things into perspective for the dating scene. It's like I prefer soul food over eye candy. I like to look at eye candy. It's good to look at, it tastes good, but at home, what are you cooking at home? Relationships, it's about home. You're trying to build, you're trying to establish something for the longevity, for the long term. That's home. Like your partner should be home to you. So what are you cooking at home? You can't be cooking Skittles and, Bubblicious bubblegum at home and feeding that to the kids. Like that's not, so I bring that all back to the whole relationship thing. So that's my take on it. To me, the society today, everything is like surface. It's like everyone's more concerned about the outside than the inside.
I would blame a lot of that on social media for sure because
Yeah, big
women
time.
women are like, not to say me, but I know some women feel a lot of pressure to stay young and look pretty and look fit and look good, and that pressure can really get to some women sometimes, and then that's all they think about, and then that's where you end up getting those girls that are Skittles. And it's like, where's like the modern women, the women who just care about like soul and like who you are and and being genuine and stuff like that. It is really rare to find and hard to find out here. But
But unfortunately,
And it's not just,
even
you
that,
can have both.
mhm.
unfortunately, even that getting idolized. Look at poor Norma. Is that her name? Norma Woods, or the lady who, today I woke up and I decided to make my children a cup of Cheetos. That lady.
I don't consider her modern.
Yeah, you know who laughed? That
She's
lady.
very
No, but truth be told, she is a modern woman. The lifestyle
she,
that
no.
she chooses to
She
she,
portrays it. She portrays to be that way.
but she's,
If you look at her
but that's what I'm
pages,
saying.
she's very, very much online, and she wants to pretend
Yes,
and
but
have this
that's what
whole
I'm talking
facade
about.
that she's a good
But that's
traditional
what I'm
woman.
talking about.
Yeah,
They
facade.
praise women like her and paint this picture that she is what a modern woman is supposed to be when she's not even a modern woman. So that's what
Hmm.
I'm talking about. Blame it on social media, because
Social
even
media.
social media got it twisted with what a modern woman is supposed to be.
Hmm.
We'll go to Suzette, and then after that, Pierre, and then Jay, if you want to say something after, that's cool too.
But I also blame it on the algorithm because, like, certain things you guys watch on social media, they will play it like every time. Do you
Mm-hmm.
guys notice that?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I went through a stage that I was listening to a lot of like weird negativity stuff. And I was like, oh, that's so weird. And then I was like, I start deleting certain things and then switching it to what I watch and what I do on social media. And it's it changed as well. I don't know
It's
if you guys
something
know.
that it's something that you must have like at that point in time whenever you was listening to that weird stuff or weird kind of whatever you said about the weird music. It was something that you liked. It could have been an artist that you liked, or it could have even been a dance hall artist, or
Yeah. I mean,
or African artist, or something like that. And whatever it was that you liked, it connected to that, and that's how it ended up in your algorithm. But it is the stuff that I agree with you 100%. It's the stuff that we like. It's the stuff that we comment on, and it's the
mhm.
stuff that we watch, and it'll pop up. That's why when I date a guy,
Even like if
I
you're trying
go
to
right
buy
to his
something.
followers. I go to his followers and check. Is he looking at? Does he follow what Diggs calls eye candy, or does he follow soul food? I definitely look at that. I go to a man's activity and I see what he likes, because you can see all of that right on Instagram. It's public. Is he on Instagram liking nothing but eye candy, or does he like the soul food? I look at that because that'll tell you what's in his algorithm. That'll tell you what's popping up on his page. That'll tell you what he's looking at on his page on an everyday 24/7 basis. It'll literally tell you.
Hey, Mara, real quick,
I have to
just want to let
disagree.
Suzette. I just want to let Suzette finish. I don't think Suzette finished what she was trying to say. Um,
Yeah, I also think, yeah, also like your environment who you around as well, because I felt like same. Like it's like I don't know, things change. I don't know if that's normal for you guys if you notice that, but I think that's so weird that that happened. It doesn't. I just because I do a Google search and something doesn't mean like, oh, I want my whole Facebook space to be looking like it in every like they play it over and over. It's like that's so weird.
Yeah, the whole thing is weird. I don't know why it does that. If you like one thing, then it'll spam you with a whole bunch of stuff, or you'll be talking about
Well, the
something,
reason why
and
it
then
does that
all of
is
a
because
sudden all these commercials pop up
the
of what
reason
you
why
was
it does
talking
Yeah,
that,
about.
that's so weird.
the reason why the
Very weird.
algorithm does that is because they want you to stay on the app. So when you like something, it's gonna keep showing you more things that are like it to stay on it. That's why.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
set up that
Yeah,
way.
it's the app. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
it's
Like
all
that's smart.
crazy.
connected.
You see, that's why they call all these devices smart devices. Like they're actually studying you. They're listening to you. They're
Yeah, that's
studying everything that
crazy.
you do. Like it knows you probably better than you know yourself. The things you
Yeah,
think that
that's
you're doing,
absurd.
in your own privacy of your own home, you might be in the bathroom on the, using the
Stop.
bathroom. You think it's gonna know, and it's gonna
yeah,
send
You
you
guys stop.
completely.
You guys are
more of it.
scaring me.
Yeah, on the toilet taking a poopy, and
Hmm.
it's showing you commercials of Charmin. Like, how did you know I was taking a shit?
I'm telling you.
Oh, you know what I was thinking, you guys? I'm thinking if they like videoed all those things we're doing on social media, if they playing it in another country, and like I'm like wondering sometime if that happened. They playing all like things that we're doing right now in other country.
Probably, or probably in the FBI
Like or they
headquarters,
keep it and then like
CIA
even if we passed
headquarters.
away, like and then somebody will find it and then build something out of it. That's so weird, right?
They
Because there's
probably
Hmm.
so
do.
many videos going on.
But hey, just to keep it going, I don't know who I think it was Pierre or Jay was gonna answer after Suzette.
It was
And
I
then
Pierre,
got,
I think.
yeah.
okay.
So just to kind of piggyback on what Suzette was implying or saying in regards to like the environment, I I'm curious um in regards to the females. some people might say that, your upbringing in regards to how you were raised, especially from, a woman figure or your father figure in regards to what type of man you should be looking for. They probably were, you know, I'm just making assumptions based on like how, you know, don't focus on the man, focus on your career, stuff like that. Do A, B, and C, and D, and stuff like that. Do you feel like that kind of affected how you went about, you know, dating people? Because I feel like how your parents might have how they were dating is different from how they probably were telling you how you should date, if that makes sense. To be kind of like a devil's advocate, like, do you believe that like in regards to for female, um why am I blinking right now? In regards to raising
So I felt like
Okay.
I felt like growing up, they didn't teach a lot of women to be more in touch with their feelings and getting to know who they are more. So I felt that that will that affect my relationship and knowing on what kind of men you should date. Because if you don't know who you are, you would not be able to pick a man that will make you happy. I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
So I felt like you
So,
need to be
so,
more aware of you.
so this goes back to what we was talking about on a previous topic. Remember, I talked about emotional intelligence and then feelings.
Yeah,
And then remember, what else did we say? More discipline, right? And
yeah,
boundaries. If everybody could remember that, it will help everybody out in life when you're dealing with friendships, relationships,
yes,
businesses, whatever. You got emotional intelligence, which is you understanding yourself and understanding what will trigger you and things like that. Then you have
and
the feelings, which is obviously you actually acting out, emotionally acting out because you've been triggered. But if you allow yourself to boost up your emotional intelligence, right, you could avoid them situations because your emotional intelligence is also you're being aware of the other person. So if you're dating someone, you understand maybe their strengths and weaknesses or what triggers them or why they're acting out on you. Maybe because they didn't have a mother or father in their life or they was abused or something. So your emotional intelligence is not only for yourself, but also for whoever other person you're dealing with. Getting to, know that. The discipline is discipline. You already know what that is. Setting boundaries is key. You know what I'm saying? You got to set boundaries for yourself and for other people. You know what I'm saying?
true,
So,
but I was going back to the question in regards
Yeah.
to other reasons why the dating scene and why is it like that? Like one of them was like because of social media, but then I was trying to say in regards to people's upbringing.
Yes.
And so like I was
yeah.
wondering, like, do you got like especially for females as they um
Yeah.
this new age,
When we were being raised, when
Oh,
we were
how they
being
were
taught how to
raised,
date. Yes. Okay.
how did they and so I'm wondering, do they feel like was that affecting them because how I'm assuming their parents dated differently compared to how they were told to date. Because in my opinion, I just feel like, and if it comes across ignorant, just let me know. But it sounds, and I'm also being devil's advocate, but it sounds like dating now for women is more like you making sure he's like top quality guy. Like there's no, it wasn't like I think back in the day, it sounded like a woman would just want like a good man. It didn't matter as long as he had a job and stuff like that. But now it's like you need someone who's educated. You need someone who's making some money. You need someone who can do this for you, can do that for you, do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So I'm wondering, and technically the men the same thing. Like obviously we also want someone who can knows how to cook. I mean that's anyways, but that's one main thing. But I was just curious to know your perspective. Do you feel like that had like affected how you went about dating?
Okay. So for me, I will say I had two. Like I watched my mom date. So I think you learn a lot by you watching your parents date, if they're together, if they're not together. And for me, like, I never met a lot of her partners. I only knew like one or two, and then the stepfather that she got married to. So I understand, you there's a little bit of a trial and error. You take one or two, maybe three different people until you hit that one that you are with or whatever. But she never really like sat down and said, this is how a man's supposed to treat you, or this is how you're supposed to act, or this is how you're supposed to be, or whatever. But I was also raised in several different religions, so I kind of learned through like faith and like all these religions on how to treat a man and how to be a proper woman, kind of thing. So it's still like tied into everything as I was growing up. And now dating, I do always ask a man about his childhood, how his childhood was, if he believes in God or not. Because one of my biggest things too is that I've noticed dating, let's say there's five kids, right? And he's the youngest versus dating the oldest. Huge difference. Huge difference in dating the guy who's the baby and the guy who's the eldest. The guy who's the eldest is more of a man. Like he knows how to like be responsible. He knows how to take care of his younger siblings. Like he has more of an independence to him rather than the baby of the family who literally had everything handed to him. It's a huge difference, but it's definitely very important to me to know how he sees relationships in his life. Because if dating the baby, for example, that man is always going to want to be catered to. He's always going to want somebody to come save him. He's always going to want somebody to be right there. Whereas the older man, he's going to be looking for someone who's a partner, like understanding, wants that communication with you, wants that connection with you. And it's like, I don't know, for me, it's very important, the upbringing, for sure. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's just
It
how I
does.
think of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we got Morris next. Anybody out the more, just raise your hand or say something in the chat.
Is she there? There you go.
Yes, I'm here.
Go
Sorry. Can you
You
guys
got
hear me
more
clear?
opinion right now.
You're
You
good.
got more opinion right now.
Yeah, you do. Can you guys hear me clear?
Yes.
So, for me, it was a little different, only because my mother grew up with both parents in the house, and then they went through a divorce. So she went through living with both parents to not living with both parents to living with one parent to getting kicked out and living with my grandma and having to live with my nana or her grandma, my great grandma, her nana for about like the rest of the remaining time of her life. And the power just went out in my house. I'm sorry. And so when I was growing up and dating, my mom would tell me things like, oh, you want to make sure that the guy has money, basically A, B, C, and D. And it was kind of difficult for me to decipher all through all that because I watched my mom dating, kind of like how Kimba said. And my mom didn't do A, B, and C with the guys that she was dating. So my mom did sit down with me and tell me, oh, this is the kind of man that you want. And then I also have my grandmother too that would sit down with me and say, oh, this is the kind of man that you should be looking for. This is the kind of man that you would want. But like I said, when I was younger, I didn't have patience. So I didn't have time. I would like when I would date guys, like he messed up and he did something and I didn't like how he was talking to me, that was it. You're done.
Yeah.
Period. You gotta go. On to the next one. So to answer your question, Pierre, what was the question?
Does the upbringing like affect your choice in dating? Kind of. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, and yes, as an adult, but no, not too much as a young when I was growing up. No, because like I said, I didn't have patience, and so I didn't really care. But yes, as an adult, because I do want to settle down and have children. No, to a certain extent where I didn't know where I didn't care, but yes, to an extent that I didn't just have children with anyone. I didn't just lay down with anyone.
Right.
I didn't just share energies with anyone.
Everyone.
So yeah,
Facts.
welcome, Cozy. But I'd like to get your take on this subject, man, if you don't mind speaking.
What's up, bro?
Yes, sir. How
Sorry,
you doing?
everybody. I got a lot of stuff going on, but
For y'all?
it do like I said before, it was raised by mostly all women, so like that's had a lot to do with me trusting because I seen how women move when they're on survival mode, and they like basically, man, I had people that got three niggas paying child support for one kid and all that stuff, so it really had effect on my life, dating and all that. So yeah, it do. It really do. How you grow up and all that, who raised you and all that. It depends on what you see, man, and it defines how you run your relationship for the future. So it gets tough when you gotta like counteract how you what you saw, what you know. It's tough because when you're dealing with somebody else in your life, you gotta double think like, is are you the one bugging, or you're just life is trying to tell you something. It makes it hard and difficult. It's just tough, man. So yeah, it do affect how you grow up and all that, and who raised you, especially when you
I
don't
hear.
like have a man to show you. You know what I mean? You gotta learn it. So and a lot of females don't take that in consideration either. I'm saying
Nah, I
people
hear
want what
that.
they want from you. They don't give you what they don't really. And I like what Kim said. You know, you gotta look at the background and you really understand the person a little more because you see like, okay, they just never learned properly how to trust or how to treat somebody. Thank
Okay. Jay, you have anything to say?
Yeah, but let's. I feel like there was like two different things that were talked about since I got on. So can you just Pierre? Can you just go over the questions? I can make sure I'm not confused because it was like it seemed like two topics came up.
Okay, so the second question was basically, do you feel like your upbringing affected the way you went about dating? Like, did it have an effect in regards to how you went about, approaching someone and just being in the dating scene?
Yes, I feel like it did because I watched my father travel every single year since I was a kid. I just until he ended up getting sick with diabetes, and then he couldn't travel anymore. He passed away, but I seen him just traveling and just back to back. He would travel like 3 times a year, every single year, and he was a womanizer. He was in my life. He never left. But then he was a player, man, and it was like and that like took a toll on me and all my brothers, really, like like they in relationships and all that, but all of us were like all of us have the mentality that we would do our thing on the side, even if we are deep in love, we'll still get our rocks off with somebody else on some, but the person will never know. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, me, I feel like watching him, what he doing, and just growing up with a lot of, with just Caribbean people. You know what I'm saying? Just I grew up with both Black Americans and Caribbean people because I got a little mixture of everybody in my family, and then Latinos as well because I'm Honduran and Jamaican. I just feel that I'm always going to do my thing on the side. When I settle down, I have my main wifey, but because I have property in another country and I'm exposed to two different cultures, just Latin women, Black women, and I like traveling the world. I'm always going to do my thing, and I just feel like if it wasn't for watching my father travel so much like that, I might have been one of those plantation Negroes that would have been scared to leave America and do and just explore the seven seas. You know what I'm saying? And just so I look at the world as is my oyster. And I want to settle down with a woman that's from overseas. I want a woman that has my mom and my grandma's old traditional values. And so when people feel like they should just take whatever they can get, when men say that, I don't understand that. I don't agree with it, because it's like if you look at the world like the world is yours, you're willing to, then you'll travel anywhere in this world and you'll get exactly what you're looking for. So I don't believe in beautiful women all being evil and nasty, and they can't be soulmate material because they're just eye candy. Like I don't believe that, because I traveled to so many countries that I know that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like the Western world, with the Western countries, a lot of women, they have a separate mentality. One mentality is one matrix simulation mentality. But then when you go to countries that are not dominated by the Western society, the mentality is totally different. You get what I'm saying? So it's just not true. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, then you wouldn't see like an African dude with a dope ass chick, right? You wouldn't see a poor
No, I
Latino
don't think.
man with a beautiful ass woman, and she's like ride or die for him, and she's a good mother to the kids, and they live in, and they're in love, and they don't have a lot, but they're in love. He went back home and got her from over there. You know what I'm saying? And he got what he wanted. He didn't take the girl that he didn't want and just settle for that. So I just feel like it's just you are your options. You are the enemy of your own options. That's what I feel. If you don't broaden your horizons, then yes, your options are more limited if you're not willing to go above and beyond and do whatever it takes to get exactly what you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of person, I'll go anywhere in this world and get my wifey. I don't really care what anybody else got going on or what anybody else thinks. Like I travel. I already did this traveling thing, and I know I'm gonna get what I want. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
like just like you pick your Jordans or you pick your Adidas, I can find what I want just like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm willing to do what it takes to get it, to get
So
exactly
Jay,
what I want.
Jay, I don't think Diggs, when he was mentioned, I don't think and I'm not really trying to speak for Diggs, but in regards to like the eye candy and the soul food, I think what Diggs was saying was like a soul food is more than just eye candy. That person has substance, and so that's what I think he was referring to.
I
So
wasn't talking about him though. When I'm saying what I'm saying, I was talking about just me. I was talking about my situation, about my father and me, and then why I think, because the way I think, because of what he does. Not going at him of what on how on his views, just more like what me and my father went through and how he would explain why the world was your oyster. So it's not anything towards Diggs. It's just like my view. Not so I'm not saying that to go against what he's saying. Okay, I'm talking about
I
depends.
want to get on.
I'm just talking about worldview options. When you have a very
I want
very
to get it. I
worldly
want to get
mentality, that's
Ellis on
all.
because Ellis didn't get to speak at all.
Yeah. All right, I'm done. I'm finished.
So
I'm
I would
finished.
like to get
Yeah.
Ellis.
It says, what about
Oh,
dating
I
in
didn't. I
2025?
joined late.
Why are people
yeah.
scared of committing
It'll
and
be
ghosting is on an all-time high?
Okay, I'm sorry. Yep.
Oh yeah. There's nobody on relationship. They don't push relationships. Like, if you really notice, man, a lot of people following that. It ain't like, I mean, there's not much leaders or leading or just trying to do your own thing. There's no individualism. A lot of people just follow now. So it's like that's the normal thing now. So everybody think they can do that. And honestly, when it comes to like relationships and all that, is women do have choices, a lot of choices. Honestly, the world is what 10-1 by women. So a lot of guys need to just like calm down because honestly, we're not needed. If we really pay attention, some people walk around too cocky and ain't paying attention to life. We're not needed. So men gotta wake up on that. If we do a sex war right now, we are losing tremendously. There is 3 women basically to every one man.
I hear you. That's a good point.
The
Culturally
makeup.
too, man. You seeing there's a lot of they putting it like it's a lot of urban females are doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a lot of pressure on a lot of guys too, man. Now in the dating scene now, like you really and that's why a lot of people are doing ghosting too, because like yo, once you show that that's like your main focus is just on you and what somebody can do for you and all that. A man don't like that, man. You
No,
know,
but
and part of the game is a chase, man. That's what a lot of men are missing out too. That's what a lot of ghosts is going on because it's like the way the world is set up is so women are so more loose with themselves. No disrespect to anybody, but there's no challenge no more. There's no. I mean, a part of the game is the chase. A man is a hunter, man. He loves the chase. So you take the chase away. That's what a lot of things are going the way it goes. 'Cause it's too easy, and the respect level is not there no more. Because you're not really, you don't have that inner beast is not being filled anymore, man. Like you got like a man loves to chase, man. It's part of you like being a conqueror. It's naturally in you
Let,
if you
let,
pay
let me
attention
let
to
me
that.
let me ask y'all something though, right? Since we doing this, it's basically it's like open table. So if your girl's a stripper, do you view a girl who's a stripper working at the strip club? What's the difference between her and a girl who's working, putting up naked shit on OnlyFans? What's the difference? And are you wifing that girl up?
no
Why or why
difference.
not? You know what
There's
I'm
no
saying?
difference.
Like
They're
Well,
both
that
sluts.
that's
Sluts.
well,
if a girl's working, I got Dr. Howard raise his hand. So Dr. Howard,
Yeah, peace.
and then Coach.
I used to date a stripper, believe it or not, but it was cool. I mean, what broke the relationship was I didn't realize that the agent was getting more. I like the agent always was like calling to make sure whatever she's scheduled for, she'll be able to do whatever. But this was my younger self. You know what I mean? Where my patience when it came to a relationship was different. Like if you wasn't all about me, then it was like I'm all set. So the relationship broke up on a day that she was about to splurge on a nigga. But I don't know. I didn't like the fact that there was always another guy that she had to answer to, and it's like my questions would be like, all right, so what else are you doing for this dude? You know what I mean? Regardless if you're being helped with your career move or whatever it is. But yeah, that was the part that really broke the straw that broke the camel's back for me was like the more I gotta stop and take this call to speak to, you know what I mean, this dude, whatever. So it's like, all right, who are you really with, me or this dude? But that was my younger self, and I didn't give it much patience after that. And it was like, you know what, forget it. Everybody's like, yo, why would you do that? You messed up. You had a dope. Like, nigga, I'm all set, bro. Like, for one, she's a stripper. She's entertaining other guys. So you got a lot of dudes actually seeing what she can offer through her works, through her dance and all of that shit. And it's like, who knows who got a nice bank that's gonna pay for that boom boom room shit. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, now I gotta be more careful when it comes to the type of female and her career choices. You know what I mean? You do have some with the goal as a stripper to use that money to come up out of that. But then it's like, do you really need to be a stripper to reach a goal to make money to come out of that? And I think it's a thing of like, I don't know, I think it's a thing of choice. It's always a thing of choice. But a career move like that, it's got to be something else about that person's lifestyle or that person's upbringing that made them decide that this is the best choice out of all the other thousands of billions of choices to make money and to come up off a hustle. Excuse me. So dating a stripper for me was it was fun, but it was bragging rights. But then it was like a commitment strain in a sense because it's like you're giving your body out to the public. I'm getting it in the private, but I don't know who else is getting it privately. So I had to let that shit go because it was just like this ain't the type of woman that I should actually be trying to pursue and marry. It was fun to date, you know what I mean, hang out, but yeah.
I definitely had to put my video on for this. So, Dr. Howard, and I'm gonna go to you right after Cozy. So, Dr. Howard, you dated a stripper before, right? Do you feel
Yes.
like you think you gotta be a very secure man to date a stripper? Would you say?
Definitely you have to have some security above the norm because, like I said, like the part that I knew she was a dancer, I didn't care about that. But the attention of the phone calls outside of when we're together was the issue for me. You know what I mean? And to have to walk
Yeah.
away to take a private phone call is like you should be able to talk about any of your business around your man if you want that man to be secure about what you're doing and not feel or think any type of way outside of the commitment that we're supposed to be bonding, that we're supposed to be had established. So it really didn't matter that she was a stripper. It was just more of the effects from the
Yeah.
caused of the need to be able to cater to someone else outside of the relationship, and it was a guy. So it's like, this was before like lesbian was like was as a norm. So it was like, that whole consciousness of man and woman together was that's how I grew up on. So this was like before knowing that a female can actually be that guy too. You know what I mean? But this
Okay.
situation, it was just a guy. So
We got will we get Cozy real quick? You wanna say something, Cozy, for this cutoff?
Yeah, I hear you, Doc.
4 minutes.
Kind of, I hear you on that, man. It's tough. I remember, I don't know if y'all remember King Arthur's. Used to be in Chelsea.
Yeah, I know KAs. I was going there underage
Yeah,
too.
back in the day, yeah, man. You know what I mean? They was
You
up in there
already know.
before we was even 21, man. You know what I'm saying? My
That's
man's
what I'm
uncle used to
saying. You
work
already
there,
know.
so
Only if you got the
even
juice
after
you
we
could get in under
graduated high
21.
school, man, we went in there. It was like a high school reunion in there, but so like, I knew, man. I knew about five of them females in them. One or two of them was all right girls. It just that's they path. They saw the quickest path to reach their goals, and the rest of them, yeah, they were. So it was like, man, in that type of life, man, it's tough. You find somebody who is there to make that money, man. They will just deal with the future of knowing that there's men who they probably bump into the seen them when they was living that life, but they still had kept their shit pure. So, but mostly, you like I'll say 90% of that industry, yeah, you can't really trust it. There is some females in there that just they find that that's the quickest path to get to their goal because the money comes in pretty
So
well and free. So
I do I do have a question for the ladies because the females been quiet. So we're about to end the quietness now. So, ladies, would you date a male stripper? For number one,
2 minutes 15 seconds.
and also on top of that, if you said no or yeah, whatever, what if he was hitting you off for bread every week, like 500 a week?
Two
That's
minutes.
2 bands a month. That's 2 bands a month. Someone want to answer that, lady? Can I get a couple
Absolutely
30?
not.
I need short answers, 30
Absolutely
seconds.
not. Absolutely not. Most male strippers are gay or have to be bisexual. I would prefer to date a straight man. Sorry.
Okay, let me hear from Suzette Mora. What's up? Jay,
hey, yo, curious, yo, she
let
jumped
me hear.
right in, man. You ain't giving the brother no love, man.
Now I gotta make y'all laugh. Ladies, stop.
Not
I don't
me,
want to.
no,
I
not
don't
me.
want y'all to be
It's a
quiet.
no for me too. Yeah, there's
No,
no
thanks,
way
Laura.
I'm dating a male stripper. Sorry.
Not even for 2 bands a month,
No,
500
not
a
even
week.
for 2 bands a
That's
month.
Listen,
that's like renting a
My whole
uniform.
thought is, yeah, he's probably getting it up
he's
there.
getting it
You know,
or giving it.
yeah.
Damn, saying that.
Mm,
So am I
I
wrong?
But
would
they,
not date a
yo,
male
seriously
stripper.
though,
So real quick, am I
see,
wrong?
this
No.
is
Am I
shocking.
wrong
This
for
Too
is,
many
wanting to
I'm
make
stripper.
this
shocked.
career move?
I'm really shocked.
Too many
So you,
I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't never been really shocked. I'm shocked. I'm like, damn.
I'm
That's
a
a
little
lot.
Last
I
shocked
would
too.
think y'all were worried
45
about other
seconds.
women, but they said that a lot of them niggas is. Oh, that's a
damn.
shock
So
to me. I
y'all,
ain't
so
never.
hold on. You
They know some
so
secrets.
it's but ladies,
Am I
it's all about the bag, right? You know, the basketball player,
But yo, heavy. You ain't got to
what is
worry
it?
about
No.
the
The
bag right now,
celebrity
man. Do you
rapper.
understand?
You know
Do
what
you
I'm
understand
saying?
what's
Like,
going on
dog,
right now, sir?
A
If a male stripper can give you 500 a
basketball
week,
player
that's
that's
2 bands a
But
doing
month.
gay
heavy, do you
stuff
realize what's
is
going on
different
right
than a
now?
man that's getting paid to partake in those type of activities.
Yeah, but the women are
So you
just
don't
open
think
up our eyes right
so
now.
hold on.
Pay attention,
So hold
fellas.
on.
The women are
So hold
opening
on.
up our
Like
eyes right now.
I'm not dating no gay man anyway. No way,
So hold
Jose.
on. So
I
hold
like
on. So hold
heterosexual
on.
men.
So some of these celebrity rappers that y'all adore,
All right, are we back? Are we
I,
back? Where did we end off? Where I was saying no? Listen, I just want to make it clear because I'm gonna post this. Obviously, I love my gay guys. That I have best friends who are gay. I just would not date a man who's a stripper because most male strippers tend to be gay or bisexual, and I do not prefer
and
them.
that's what's blowing my mind right now
Just
because
want to clarify.
I thought differently, man. I did not know. That's like a eye opening thing for me, man. I gotta.
Why? Why is that shocking or eye opening? I'm confused.
have you seen all the
Cause a
Kings?
lot, man, man, I've never met a dude that most of them they be talking all that, oh, they be doing this, that, and the third, and to hear that, like y'all know more than we do. We don't go with these dudes. You know what I'm saying? I'll never
So
go with this
I have a
stripper
question.
because I don't need to see
so
that. But
I have a
I,
question about that,
I'm
Kimber.
just
yeah.
So
what up, Dr. Albert?
say like I always had this thing where I was like, if push came to shove, if nothing else works, I'm gonna be a stripper for old women. So am I wrong for that?
You want to be a stripper for old women? You could go ahead and do it. It's just that a male stripper right now, in order for him to be making money, he's going to be stripping for men as well, because men are the only ones who really pay for that shit.
I don't think I would
Nah,
be.
I don't think so.
Not
I
at
think
all.
females
I
do
don't
too,
think females
Yeah,
go
Old
go to
ladies
a
in that
strip
shit.
club. If
especially
you
you
older
don't
go,
really hear
females.
about too many women parties, man. They keep it to themselves.
no, no.
I have
You
to
hear
honestly,
niggas like, yeah,
Females,
we
nigga, you
about to
gotta
we about to
listen.
do something for
Females,
fellas.
especially older
the elder
females,
women are gonna
they
have to
will
sign a
pay.
disclosure because I'm not gonna be paying for heart attacks, high blood pressure issues, none of that after I'm done dancing. I'm fucking around.
You're gonna send some to the hospital.
You got to remember though,
But
it's
that
always
also goes
birthday
with
every day,
people like
every week.
a
So
lot of people need to get out
celebrate.
of their comfort zone too when you really think about that because when you really look at it, man, a lot of people just they usually go to the same places, man. You know what I mean? You grow up like they go to the same clubs, they be in the same neighborhoods. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
man,
ladies,
really,
I'm
truly,
kind
man, a
of
lot of people just got to get more travel, man. A lot of people just got to just get more travel so they can be more open to a lot more things.
yeah, I hear that.
Like I've been here since I was 10, man. That's been like part of my like one of my biggest challenges, man. Just because I've been to so many different places as a kid that you know what I mean. It's like you get used to stuff, but it bothers you because you're like, yo, you're trying to tell people like, dude, there's a totally different way of doing this, or you try to let them understand that there's so much more out there. But this
So,
thing right here, I was like, man, I would have thought dudes were just eating all these girls down, man. I find out that
Well,
most of them is
listen, there's a
swinging.
couple
That's
other
crazy.
girls here. We can ask Jada if Jada would, or if Mara would, if they
I
would
don't
date
even gotta
a male
ask.
stripper.
Once there's more than one female saying the same thing, I know it's a consensus. You know what I mean? I know it's a consensus. Once you got
well,
more
no,
than one
I don't
female
think
telling you
every
something,
female is the same. I
No.
don't think every female is the same. So everybody is their own person.
And this is a small
Yeah, yeah,
sample,
yeah. I'm
so
not saying
I
they're
don't
the same. I'm
know.
just saying. I'm just saying. When once you see like more than one female is telling the same thing about something, you know that's it's yeah. So it's a shocker to find out that because most of the dudes you
So
be talking to, like, oh, they say they, oh, if I do this, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna be having this much, I'm gonna be beating all these. But to find out, like the majority of them dudes is gay, is like, whoa,
Yes,
shocking.
1000%. Majority.
damn, yo, Jada, you real quiet right now. I never heard you this quiet.
No, I was letting everyone speak. Hey, y'all.
What's up, Jada?
Can I date one? No, I agree with the ladies, but I will be your business partner. We can go out, have some fun. I'm gonna rack that shit up. I'm gonna be like, rack it
Exactly.
up. Rack,
Rack it up,
bitches,
rack,
throw that
rack, rack.
money. Y'all hoes better. No, so
What's
listen,
up?
for real.
Businessman
I'm
Yo,
be
energy.
like, ding-a-ling-a-ling. Good, baby. Listen, we gonna be picking out drawstrings and everything. Nigga. I
yo,
need to see that dick on the side, the left, the front, the right, the back. Hold on, let me see.
yo,
Hold on. Hello. Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna
yo.
cheerlead that nigga on.
But I just want to like. It just sounds like it's just a double standard.
It is. It always is
Because
going to be a double standard because
yeah,
a man will absolutely date a bisexual woman, but a woman would not. I don't want to speak too much, but like I would say a majority of women would not want to date a man who's bisexual. There are women who
Especially if
will.
they know.
Yeah, there are women who will. Don't get me wrong, but I know for me personally, I would not. Yeah.
I hear you.
I mean, if just because considering what's going on out here, everybody don't protect themselves. But back in the day, I had a crush on this gay. Oh my goodness. Whoo, Lord of mercy.
A
And
lot of mercy.
that
It's
motherfucker
just
right there. I didn't know. I used to question myself, like, girl, is this normal? No, let me not get too into it. But I used to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so some
So
of them are
that's
really
really like
attractive. Hmm.
that's crazy you said that because I'm like, she fucking know that.
Yo, wow.
uh,
Damn, yo,
I'm
Diggs is
saying,
quiet.
no.
Diggs been
But I
quiet.
do agree, ladies, as far as what y'all said, male strippers, yes. Me personally, I don't want to see no male. I'm honestly, I want to see some bitches. I'm gonna keep it real. Um,
Oh yeah.
that's just me.
Man,
I'm going back to some balls when I get home. I see that shit later.
Mhm.
I
I
want to
hear
see
you.
some titties and some shit sitting, and you know what I'm saying,
Oh,
some
yeah.
smell good, some fresh
Yeah,
aroma.
Oh Lord.
Like not saying my nigga don't smell good, but it's a different type of,
yeah,
so
for sure.
what happens if it was like his past? He used to be a stripper, but not anymore. Would that be still an issue?
Hell no. That's before me. Somebody might seen that dick before me. Hey, somebody gonna tell you some shit too. What
Depends.
the fuck? That's before me. Ain't nothing done.
Depends on
So
his
I have
sexuality,
Shit.
so
but I
what
still would
about
say
like
no.
I heard the girls earlier talking about they want to get a baller, you know what I'm saying? Like a celebrity rapper or a
I
basketball
think it
player
would be
athlete type shit.
horrendous to date a celebrity rapper. I ain't even
yo,
gonna lie.
listen, man, listen.
So what
Yo,
about the rapper
most of them
game?
gotta
What
be
about the
more.
rap?
Most of
What
them
about
gotta
the
be
rapper?
realistic, man. Like I
Yo,
said
but
earlier, man, the world is
Yeah.
outnumbered 10-1.
yeah. But I'm
10
saying,
to
would you
1.
go out, ladies? Would
So
you go
most
out with the
women need to
rapper
get
game?
realistic with what they want.
Would you if you was trying to get that type of person, would you go after someone like Game? Because we all know Game used to be a male stripper, probably bisexual. You know how these industry rappers are man gay
Yeah,
nowadays.
they are.
You know
I wouldn't date a
what I'm saying?
rapper. I wouldn't give a fuck to date a rapper. I'll go to dinner, sure. I'll go to a concert, but no, I'm all set. I'm all
Yeah.
set.
Why would they? Why? Honestly, why would they want to? Because if you really listen to most of the lyrics now, it's like back in the days. Yeah, we used to talk about, but he's like, yo, you talking about certain females now. Now these dudes just reckless with it, man. It's like
These dudes probably have 4 or 5
they got no
chicks on the
respect
reg.
for the. They got no, yeah.
No point.
Shit, wow. Wow.
It's like the shit they be saying now is like basically they just
Graphic
smut them out.
pornography is what they be
Yeah, it's
saying.
like smut them out. Yeah,
Yeah.
but then you can't blame a lot of dudes because if you realize, man, if you come from a certain background, man, that's especially
That's
the hood, man.
why
Porn is like
upbringing
it's
is
a business.
important.
You be sitting there, you know what I mean? You go to most dudes' cribs, man. They be sitting right there with their little man. They go, oh, come get your kid. Niggas is there with their kid bagging up. Little man is watching them bagging up, watching them watch pornos, everything, man. So
Hmm.
like, you come from the street life, man. You usually way like by the time you 6, you know about everything.
Yeah, it's just
You know what I mean?
real. It's
Yeah,
shit
that's
real.
a lot of people don't realize it, man. And then when you get older, you get judged, and you know what I mean. It messes with you. It's
Yeah,
like
a lot of
definitely
that
like
shit
certain
follows you.
people. Yeah, so that's why like certain like I've always give people chances because you never know their background. So that's why I always give people an opportunity to either disappoint me or hurt me, and that's why you got to build tough skin because that's one thing in life is a guarantee you're gonna get hurt.
We ain't getting her in 2025. Nobody in here. Like that. We ain't taking shorts. Nobody in here. We
Nobody.
got the drama
Yeah,
come.
manifest
Yeah,
your
We
but
love.
out
a
of
lot
there.
of, but that's what I'm saying. A lot of females,
Chaos,
though, they have to
confusion.
be. A
Bye.
lot of females gonna have to be more realistic of what they want, though, because it is unfortunately, you know what I mean.
But I also
It's
feel like,
high. The
dude,
whole
that's
world
fucking
is
Koji.
highly populated by women.
I just feel like Koji. I
Right?
feel like that point of view is very like miscued. I don't know if that's the right word I'm thinking of because like that's just a lot of the shit you see online with the drunk bitches after the club at 3 a.m. when they got half a bottle in them and stuff.
Shit,
Like
bitches do that before
if
3
you go
a.m.
out there, yeah, if you go out there in real life, I don't think like a good chunk of women are like that. If you go to a college campus, yeah, probably because they're indoctrinated and brainwashed. Like, yeah, if you go like lower, like the ghetto, like the hood, yeah, probably over there too.
Yeah,
But I don't realistically like even in my group of girls, none of us are like that. All we want is a man who
yeah.
has a
But you see,
stable
and that's what
job.
I'm saying. Yeah,
All we want is a man who
the
has a stable
stigma
job,
too.
knows how to support himself, and can, you know, also bring like some of himself to the relationship to the point where she can also add to the relationship. It's all about adding together and not like what you got, what you got, what you got. Like I only see that shit online. I don't know.
Right, because it doesn't really happen around, and that's what I said too. I don't really be around females like that. First of all, nobody, I don't know. Females, me coming up, we was always taught by grandma, always have your own, always have your own, always,
Hmm.
always,
Uh,
always, always. I don't even care if a man's telling you you ain't gotta do it, you ain't gotta do it. Always have your own. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So anybody, not even just in a man, an individual period, to even base your whole life and depend on that person would be real fucked up for anybody to think like that.
Hmm.
To even think you could use people is just
And let me
that's
tell you, if I
crazy.
had friends like that, I absolutely would check them because there's every
You
day
have
at my
to.
job that
Have
I have
to.
women that are always like, oh, look at us women doing this job, la la la, we don't need no men. And I shut them down fast and quick. Like, girl, I would much rather you had a man here because he would be chucking this shit easy peasy, no problem. Okay. I was like, just because I'm doing it doesn't mean I would not prefer a man to be helping me load this shit in my truck. Okay. And they all just
Right.
always end up looking at me like, oh,
I'm
like
basically
shut up.
one of
Like we
those.
need
It will
men in
be
this
nice.
world.
Right.
Stop. Just stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Giving them one of those like it
yeah,
will
and
be
that's the
nice, but
thing,
this
man.
shit
Is
don't
the
stop,
narrative that's being put out there, man, and it's unfortunate because a lot of it too is a lot of these people, so-called gatekeepers and all that, people, money and all that, like the narrative they put out there, they just open up the world to be more loose.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because even if with what you see TV and all that, well, there's a lot of people in the so-called hoods that they call us that are real good people. Like she was like Jada said, she was raised with values, have her own and all. There's a lot of women like you know what I mean? But it's unfortunate that our own people who are supposed to be that we're supposed to so-called follow the leaders, that they help put this narrative out there that of what our females are like in the hood. That they just put like all this ratchet females out there now. So everybody think, oh, that's all the females are like that. No, they're not. That's like one or two birds that be in the hood that actually be on that baddie shit. You know what I'm saying? That's like one or two, and you got a whole hood. Instead, there's like 30 women in the projects. There's only like 5 of them like that. But that's the narrative they want to put out there. All of them are like that. So
Thank you guys so much for joining Motivation Monday. This is just the beginning of our process. It's a new podcast that we're starting out, so please bear with us as we get our bearings. So today's episode, we did talk about if you were more patient 10 years ago or now as an adult. Comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts were on that. Also, what your thoughts are on dating in 2025. Why is ghosting so accepted? Has it always been accepted and now it's just more visible? And what you think the issue is in dating 2025. As you all heard, all of our opinions are very mixed, but very spot on as well. So catch us next week for Motivation Monday on Monday, Sports Talk Sunday on Sundays with CJ and Ellis, and also on Wellness Wednesdays with Dr. Howard, aka Mizzy Mike, aka he has tons of freaking names and he's not a real doctor, just an affiliate with GNC and gives amazing nutritional advice. Catch you guys next week. Bye!